I have to share her with everyone. It's annoying. My friends
Everyone
See,
calls
whatever-
my mom
everything's
mom.
annoying.
Everything
Ashley.
is annoying.
Everything is
when
annoying.
my friends call me like, I'm at your mom's house. Oh, she made me dinner. Like, that is not your mom. Go away. It's so irritating. It's so irritating.
That's a territorial ass Capricorn.
I am. That's my mama. I don't even know why she talked to her other kids.
Okay, so we cannot call you.
So
Yeah,
okay,
we're
so what do
really
we call you?
All
Mama
right,
Laura?
Laura.
We call her Mama
We are
Laura?
We
not
don't
doing
trust
this
it.
today.
We don't
I'm
trust it,
telling you.
Ashley.
No, I like y'all more than I do other people. So
No,
you know
but
I feel
I
you.
think it's good for the listeners too. If we say Mama Laura,
No, the listeners gonna call
Abuela.
her Miss Laura.
Miss
That
Laura.
ain't the mom.
But they're listening to us call her.
You
They're
guys
not
will call her Mama Laura.
Wait,
but they-
first let's
That's what
ask
my
her
little
what she
students
would
call
like.
me
What,
as
Miss
Miss Laura.
Laura?
Yeah.
Instead of
Make sure you
asking
talk to the mic,
Ashley,
okay?
let's ask her what
Yes.
she wants us
What would
to
you
call.
like us to call you when we address you? Okay, we won't call her mommy because you call her mommy.
Lella. That's what the kids call her.
I am not their
Abuela.
grandmothers.
Okay,
What
we'll call her
the
mom
heck?
today because we don't call each other mom. I think we're just gonna call her mom today.
Call me Mama Laura. I like that. And,
Call
and
Mama today,
actually,
'cause we don't call
within
each
the
other
African
Mom.
community, that is what people call me,
Mama Laura.
Or
Okay.
Sister
Instead
Laura.
of
Cute.
instead of
Mama Laura's
Miss
cute.
Ashley's
like Mama
mom,
Laura.
ma'am.
Yeah, that's cute.
Right. Ashley, do we have permission to
child
call your
of
mom
mine.
You
mom
call her
today?
whatever you want.
Okay,
girl.
mom. Mom, Ashley's mom is here today.
Look, in a second, you're about to get a shoe thrown at your head, Mel.
Nah.
A high top tennis shoe.
Hilarious.
Fine. It's totally fine.
Mama Laura, I
used
like
to share
that. That
your
is
phone
that
also.
takes me home.
I've never like watched the two of them together.
Like,
So
They are
funny.
the same.
They're the
Pink,
same
orange,
person.
and yellow are just so
Wait, what
wrong.
colors?
Pink, orange,
She
and
said
yellow.
are
They're
wrong.
just
Wait, those are
wrong.
my daughter's favorite colors, Mom.
Well, those were. She used to wear hot pink, hot everything, and
I told you. I have lived many lives.
I was told in the car to just answer the question. She said,
So now we know what questions to
yes
ask.
and no answers, Mom. Don't
Yes and no
I said,
answers.
Mom, just answer the question. Don't go down. Just don't do it.
Okay.
Y'all
okay.
brought me
Well,
here.
okay. So I said this to her last night. I was like, because she's, always saying things like, "My mama get on my nerves," but
I don't always
hold
say
on.
that.
But
bruh.
equally,
Just let her tell the truth because she's told
it's
me
the
that
truth.
to
And
my
I
face,
told her
so.
this yesterday. And I said, but
so
equally,
funny.
she's like, I love my mom so much. She's so amazing. I
She
love her
is.
so much. And I'm like, how it's hard enough for us to navigate, right? The high lows of Ashley. How does this make you feel, right? That this
I didn't ask your mom no kind of question like that. So
You can.
disrespectful.
you can I told you last night I was gonna say
First of all,
this.
I don't have highs and lows.
No, she has highs and lows. But
Okay, what is this turning into, y'all?
Melanie.
This is an intervention. Everybody
I
tell
don't
me.
have highs and lows. I say how I feel in the moment.
but
and I
she's
move
talking
on.
to me though.
Okay,
That's the
fine.
thing.
Just-
I thought that's why I came here, right?
Yes. This is about her
Jesus,
her
God.
take.
I'm about to leave.
She specifically said, "How do you handle it?"
Okay, how do you handle it, Mom?
It's not easy. But the one thing that Ashley needs to know that needs to go on record
Okay.
nationally is
National.
I really,
internationally,
really,
sis.
really love her for who she is.
Me too.
I do. No, I do. She's been through a lot. She's done a lot. She's been there for me. She's a lot more, I guess since I taught school, I shouldn't say specialer, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to say that. Than she thinks she is. And I think that you need to accept that. But at the same time, she tries to tell me what to do and she needs to stop because that's
Same,
not her
same,
place.
sis.
It is
okay. She tells everybody what to do.
Not
Don't
her
worry.
place. Well, that's on y'all. Y'all are y'all are in this on your own. Okay?
Yeah.
She's voluntary,
This
child.
This voluntary.
But I'm her mom and she doesn't understand. I want the best for her. So when I tell her something, she's like, don't tell me, or I know that whatever, but I know a little more
Yeah, I agree with that.
in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay. In different ways. Her ideas, her parenting, her cooking, everything that she does is great. But she just needs to understand that I am who I am. And that's probably not going to change. But I have learned a lot from her as really just by observing her and kind of like letting her go, which was something I didn't want to do. But she kind of did that on her own. So I used to worry about her. She was very quiet, very underneath me, mousy child, which was fine. Every mother loves that. But my other 3 children were a little more boisterous, and I worried about her. But she made it very clear to me one day, and you remember that when you're in Speakers Bureau, and she was going to do something on stage, and my heart just pounded for her. You know, I was like, oh God, my baby's going to get up there. She don't get in front of nobody. I need to be there for her. So when she comes running down, I can hold her because she's not able to say or do or whatever it was. And she floored me. The girl just directed. She took over. And I told you, I've always told, that's when I realized, oh my God, I'm losing the one person that just kind of like tried to crawl back up in me. And that's hard, but she is she and I am me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say we're nothing alike. I think we're a lot alike, but she's very strong in what she does. I mean, a perfect example is like child rearing. I think we're alike in child rearing because we try to be awake, woke, modern parents. It's never easy. You know, she reads and learns. I try to read and learn. We try to make ourselves better. But she's more like my mom. That's not a discipliner like my mom, Jesus God, because she'd be in jail. But
listen, all of our generations.
I do. I give you all the credit in the world. Her and her husband both. They are doing great. They got 4 girls, and those girls are wild. I mean, in a good way. They are so many personalities. I give them all the credit in the world. I actually think it's kind of funny because she's always fussing at me because in my attempt maybe I'm coming from something different. She's coming from me. I'm coming from my mom. I almost don't care what they do as long as they're respectful and respond to me when discipline, but discipline not mean. Maybe I'm just going to take that word away. Redirected.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how much of that do you feel plays into the fact that you're the abuela? Because, like, for example, my mom is a very strict, disciplined mom. Ashley loves my mom, the Donna way. That's what she calls it. And when I see how she is with my kids, she's so not that way. She's still firm and she sets boundaries, but I'm like, wow, the amounts of patience and tenderness and quietness that she's able to speak with the kids. And she's always like, oh, it's because having grandchildren is like so much more fun than having kids. So do you feel like that's kind of contributing to it? Or is that how you were as a parent as well?
I tried to be like that as a parent, but I don't feel like I had the knowledge that young people have today. First of all, I didn't have the backing because my mom constantly told me I wasn't ready. You beat them, they would be. I mean, I'm sorry. That's it, because you all didn't do that. Well, we did. We just didn't let you see it.
Yeah, right.
And I think the skills that are available today, the education, I do wish that I had that because then I think some of the ideas that I had in my head, I could have done these things a lot better because at the end of the day, sometimes things got so hard I was yelling or I was trying to hit somebody. Not necessarily this one.
No, you only hit me once.
Yes, I did. And she deserved it. And I'm never going to take that back. So let's listen.
Mom, double down.
Because here's where I am with this. I really wasn't trying to be a parent like that. And when they were little, they really did have freedoms, Even some of my friends were like, why are you letting them do it? I'm like, well, if they write on the wall, just paint on it, okay? And I'm not saying give your child something to write on the wall with. Right. I'm saying it happens.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Because I could have lost a limb doing that growing up, okay? So I didn't know what else to do. But I think sometimes when children, I'm going to tell you this right now, most of you probably have young children. When they become teenagers, you may have to fight them like out on the street. That's all. I'm sorry. And I don't mean that literally, but I do mean it literally. I mean, you are going to, oh no, yeah.
When you got that one whooping though, what happened?
She didn't whoop me. To this day, we both have a different recollection of this event. We were in the kitchen. And my older brother Solomon was in there. Me and my mom were arguing because we used to argue all the time because I obviously always got something to say.
God.
How old were you at this
I was
point?
16.
Okay.
I was
girl,
16. Yeah.
And I definitely used to go. I always felt like my opinion was valid, but my mom raised me like that. That's the thing. She raised me to be an outspoken, opinionated woman, but then would get mad when I was outspoken, opinionated with her.
Like, not right here, but outside in the world.
Right.
In the world.
You do what I say, but question everybody else.
Damn you.
So she was like, and my sister was the complete opposite of me. She never argued with my mom, really. She was just like, say yes, ma'am, and turn around and do whatever she wanted. I was always going to do what my mom said, but I always had to say something about it.
Same.
I feel like she probably preferred to me to just shut up and just lie. Just like, I don't even want to hear about it. Just go do what you want. Just pretend like you're listening. So I was arguing with her about something. I don't even remember what we were arguing about, but we were definitely arguing.
Oh, girl.
And I walked towards her, and I think she, like, PTSD from her whole life or something. She thought that I was going to hit her. I would never hit my mom, but she felt that way. So she hit me first because she was like, oh, hell no.
She's like, oh, she running up.
But like, she
I just
stole on me. She didn't just hit me. She stole on me. When I tell you, I did
no, she did. It was no, she did. She's telling the truth. She is not. But all I could think of, she was walking away. Then she turned around and she did. She approached me, and I mean, like, I'm a farm girl. I'm like, that means you. This is what you want to do. And I was like, I'm sorry, but this can't go on record that she hit me. So I hit her.
She's like, I got to hit you first. You never
but
hit me.
I want you to just recognize that I would have never hit you, Mom. Like, I would never hit you. That's why I hurt my feelings, because I felt like in that moment, you didn't see me. You saw your traumas. Because that's why I was hurt. It's like, Mom, I would never, it's me. Mario.
Mario just turned around and came towards me, and that just kind of made me feel.
I was trying to get you to understand, like,
you were gonna shake her a little bit.
No, I was trying to get her to look at me like, do you know what I'm saying? When you're trying to make a point and you love someone, or you're having a very frustrating argument, and you're trying to get them to, like, have clarity, like, this is me, I'm talking to you. But I think that my older brother was in there too, and he was instigating the situation.
As they do.
They do. And so I think it was just the energy. It was just like.
But you know what I think too also, and I can speak from this from experience, like, my mother's biggest thing with us is that I was very much the same, right? My mom, you guys see my mom, she's a strong personality. She says what she wants. And she happened to raise a daughter that would be the same, but she couldn't handle when I brought it to her. And so I feel like a lot of the frustration when I got whooped or I got slapped or checked, it was because my mom couldn't believe that her daughter was coming at her with, like, what do you mean? You're just supposed to listen to what I say. And they just get to a point where they just feel so frustrated, you know? So to that point, like, maybe there's some of that in there that just is like, I can't believe that my daughter is like, I got to show you who's boss now because I'm still the boss. Like,
a boundary thing.
My mom never treated me when I was as a daughter, like when I was living in her house, especially even when I was an adult, she still always had a hard time treating me as an adult because she still always treated me as a daughter. So like, I remember when I first started traveling for work, I would go to LA. I'll be in LA months at a time by myself in hotels. And I would come home and my mom would be like, you got to be home by midnight. And I'd be like, what? Like, I'm 23, 22 years old out in LA. Like, what do you mean I got to be home by midnight? And she was just like, I was like, when I'm out in the world by myself, I have to regulate myself. I have to be responsible for myself and make good decisions. And I'm doing that because I'm healthy. I'm alive. I'm not in any trouble. And she was just like, well, when you come home, this isn't a hotel. So you need to be here at 12. And I just remember I couldn't believe that my mom still had a hard time seeing me as an adult. She still was like, you're my daughter, here are rules, follow them.
What about you, Fee? Because you and I both were raised by single moms. Well, you were too, but later, like half your life.
We were all growing up together.
But did you and your mom ever have, like, those moments where it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like it's interesting listening to you guys talk because I feel like I was the same way. I always grew up wondering, like, why is it such a problem that I have something to say? But it wasn't until like teenage years, high school years. And I felt like I had a lot to say, but also at the same time, I felt like my mom was going through so much and she wasn't really seeing me. So I just wanted to be heard. So it came off like attitude or whatever. It was never like disrespectful, like cussing you out or something crazy. But I definitely would speak my mind. And then I would go to school and speak my mind to the teachers too. But I think, well, it's crazy because I really feel like the past couple of years is when I've really accept my mom for who she is. But I also think that my mom has accepted herself for who she is on a different level. I don't know. I just feel like it's like a ongoing process of like just our evolution. And so instead of meeting her with like resistance or meeting her, like
Challenge
matching her
her.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I just, I'm like, okay, mom, and I actually listen, I'm like, you know what? This is actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Like I probably do need to start listening to you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was low-key invalidating my mom's experience as if she wasn't here years before me, you know? And I'm like, dang, I could have made a lot of different turns, but yeah, I mean, I'm thankful. But yeah, I definitely had a little smart mouth for sure.
Yeah. I think and I did too, but and my mom was a lot more, like you said, your mother was. She was very controlling and somewhat condescending, even long after I had children. From the homeschooling perspective, just being a single parent, just being a parent, whatever. And it makes it hard for you to understand what your parent is going through when your parent does that. I think the goal, somehow we have to find a way when we're with our children, our daughters, you're not telling your child everything. I don't think they need to know everything, but there's got to be some sort of way to communicate where they understand why you are looking out for them the way you are. And then the parent has to kind of open up and accept, that this child is a totally different human being. She's actually my other daughter was totally different from each one of all my children are different from me. And that's a good thing. And I want them to be, really, but at the same time, I want them to be able to get the materials that I'm trying to give to them to help them out.
And to trust you.
Trust me. Show me that the relationship that I see her having with her older daughter. There's times I know she wants to just rip her apart because she's now at that age.
Teenagers, yeah. And
I really appreciate, it's hard, like this weekend when she was, oh God, I was like, maybe I need to stay longer because there's going to be a homicide.
Oh my God. Girl,
but what I saw you guys do, I'm almost broke out in tears because you were in the car and you were talking to Tiffany and you're like, I'm going to have to be that gangster, blah, blah, blah. And they had a moment in the kitchen and she did tell her daughter what she wanted from her. And they kind of talked about it for a few minutes and then she hugged her and told her, I was like, my God, to be able to be a parent and confront someone that you were about ready to snap their neck off. I wish I had that then. Yeah. And that wasn't supported. If I had done something like that on that day that her and I got a confrontation, my mom, or even some of my friends, had been in the room with that. That's why that child can't learn nothing. Because you ain't being you're not control. That is just the responses that we have had historically, that you need to be physical and aggressive and controlling, or you're not raising these people. And trick. That's
so. I have a question for Ashley in particular. Like with that scenario, do you feel like it was the ability to sort of vent first and then go talk to her afterward? Do you feel like it's just that's something you would do without Tiffany present? You would like get it out of yourself? And like, how do you approach those scenarios that I think all parents, and especially our parents, recognize? None of us have been, well, not exactly where you are because our kids are so much younger than Amira in particular. So like, to what do you credit your ability to handle that?
Other than my mom hitting me when I was 16, my mother.
Oh my God.
Other than the blip. No, I definitely credit my mom because I always tell people this. I told her the other day, like, even though we have our differences, the one feeling that I would say that I've always felt with my mother is safe. Mm-hmm. And she's always been home. Like wherever my mom is, that's where my home is. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? She moved to Italy, then that's my home now. Mm-hmm. And so I think her making me feel safe. I remember as a teenager, my mom used to be like, I don't want you to have sex. I don't want you to do these things. But if you do, come to me. If you get pregnant, if you make these decisions, come to me. I will help you. Don't ever decide anything on your own. She always made me feel like we could come, all of us as children, like our mom is our safe space, is a non-judgmental zone. Like when my little brother came out of his game, my mom was like, cool, do you have a job? Like she did not care. Like that's
the
how
way you be always getting on him in this job though.
Girl.
Week after week. Okay,
we gotta help him.
Baby, it's a week after week thing, but we love you, Issa. But no, like I think because I was raised with so much love. Like my mom really is love to me, to my friends, to the community. That is what I was given my entire life. I don't really know another way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like even my father, he wasn't in the home, but he still loves me so much and made me feel loved that's just how I naturally respond to my children.
After you get it out.
Oh, girl. I mean, but I think, so the funny thing is my mom used to talk to her friends on the phone because, back in the day, it's like connected to the wall. So you used to hear your parents talking about you. So I would get so mad at her, like, oh my God, stop telling our business to your friends and da-da-da. I would get so upset with her because I felt like it was such a violation. But now that I'm a mother, I understand like that was her getting it out, talking to her friends, like Ashley got an attitude today, da-da-da-da-da. And then she would come to me and talk to me about it. But I have to get it out. You guys know I have to say how I feel. Yeah, it's very important to me.
We know. I have a question. So this is not putting you on the spot, Ashley, but it is putting you on the spot, okay? Because I feel like when my mom watches me parent, she stays out of the way for the most part. But then there's times that she'll pull me to the side like, that's not really a big deal. Like, let it go. What do you see in her parenting that you feel like she could release a little bit more, whether it's being, not saying you're a helicopter parent, but
that's a good question.
I'm like,
I thought about that.
Yeah,
too.
but what do you see where that she can grow as a parent?
First of all, just let them get dirty.
Yeah,
it's okay if your kids get dirty.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Because I gotta clean it up. So don't
when
make a
you
mess.
have a 1-year-old and something drops out of their mouth and you have to take a wipe and completely clean their shirt. I'm sorry, baby.
I'm never gonna stop doing that.
See what I'm saying right here?
Yeah.
But y'all got to deal with that.
Can I say that I'm like, so I relate. Melanie, Ashley both were like, no, let's keep them clean because I got to clean it up. I relate mentally, but I understand what she's saying. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could just let them go be nasty. Because they need to dig and play and this and that.
They do. They really do.
My mind is like, we don't do sand.
Oh, no, we do not do sand.
We do not do sand.
I'm sorry, I have
but
to.
I feel bad. They should be able to act a fool in the
I don't feel
sandbox.
bad.
See, my mom would
my
not
mom had a water sand. Listen, just send. Tell my mom to move here and she can homeschool all our kids. And I'm telling you, you just send them with a different set of clothes and she will do all of the dirty stuff with them and send them home clean.
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I'm okay with somebody who I trust.
Well, you know the reason
getting my kid dirty in the right ways.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I'm gonna just be honest. If I see you let your baby crawl around the airport,
But
I'm
wait,
judging.
okay, so
we're not friends.
I used to.
You're not watching my kid.
My mom used to do stuff like that, and I started doing it. And I stopped because here's the thing: people were taking pictures of people even during the shutdown, and there were pictures like that, right? I think that all of you here are educated enough and have enough standards not to allow your children to be nasty and dirty. Yeah. So if I walk over to your house and like I come in the morning, you're getting your kids ready. One is standing there, a little
snotty nose.
Children do that.
Right.
Yes, they do.
I'm not judging you for that. Judging you is, your kid, you can smell your kids.
Yeah.
I've worked in public school and I know what that's like. I see children that, sometimes are abused or neglected. Sometimes the parents don't even understand that.
Right.
The reason some of these things, you get to it when you get to it. Like last night when I was in the bed and Chia came in there and vacuumed. Jesus.
You're saying you were
keep me near the cross, okay?
Keep me near the cross.
She was so pissed.
What the hell are you doing?
And Ashley said to me, Ashley said to me, we like to keep our house clean. I was like, in the middle. I'm laying in the bed. I'm a grown woman. Laying in, this boy don't care. I'm vacuuming the floor. I'm like, they need help.
Now, Brian Chia, if I will say so myself, this sounds like the first strike you've ever earned in my book. Don't be disturbing.
I actually like that boy.
In my friend's defense, I feel his wife sent him in there.
No, I think she came in and said that. We like to keep our house clean. I'm like, everybody, people want to keep their houses clean.
She gonna ride.
That's OCD too. That's how we have joy in love and marriage and OCD. That's like what we talked about when we dated. Like, I'm clean. I'm super clean too. Oh my God.
You tell me and Brian.
Yes.
But this is what you need.
Cover your ears, Mom.
Just do.
When me and Chia first started dating and we would have sex, he would take his clothes off and fold them neatly and lay them down before we would
I ain't even
perform.
gonna have none. You know, I'm sorry. I'm from a different.
That is too
I
much.
am like,
It's
oh
the way,
no.
It's the way she spelled it for
Right.
me.
And then
It's
right.
my mom.
SEX.
SEX. Segs.
Now, okay, but you don't want to hear about me and your dad on the ironing board, though. But you want to.
Is wrong with you?
We want to hear ironing board. Oh,
But see, you talk about. See what I'm saying? She don't want. Y'all don't want what y'all dish out. All
No,
right.
with y'all. That's
I-
her. We here for
Our
it.
listeners know that
No,
Ash is
no.
freaky deaky. That's what she got
We
4
know.
kids.
That's what she got 4 kids.
And now her mama, here we go.
She has 4
now
kids
we get
too.
It. Now we get it.
I get it from my mama.
Lord.
Where'd you get
Listen.
that?
But I have a question.
Save the stress. No, I was just gonna say real quick. Save that stress
Yeah.
for them teen years. That stuff that you're worrying about, them Legos that you step on in the middle of the morning, is so. And I'm telling you this. I've been through it. Worrying about, not because you did a bad job as a parent, because you are a parent, you are a good parent, but late at night when you're waiting for your kids to come home, you tell them they have to be home at 11, and at 10:45 your breathing just starts becoming, because it is just a part of growth. Save that energy for that. Save your lungs for that, so you can scream and do whatever you need to do, because it's hard, because you know what they are developing, and they are turning into human beings. They are not old enough to actually be adults. They are not cute, and they don't smell good anymore. And we know that, and we know all the dangers that are out there. I just wish my heart had been saved a little more, because you just get panicked. And I'm not saying that I was, when they were little, I'm glad that some of that stuff just went by me, because I needed my brain for later. I needed my words for later. I watch them. I observe when they parent. Sometimes I get a little nervous, and they prove me wrong. They make it through it, and that's what I need to know. And not because I'm judging them or they need to parent like me. I'm like, God, they have really evolved.
Yeah, it's a trick.
I feel
It's a
so
trick.
good inside. That makes me feel good. Yeah.
Okay, Ash. So now, what do you feel like your mom could have done differently growing up? Like, what would you have liked more from her, or you feel like you needed, or?
I'm actually nothing. I wish my dad would have helped her more. She ride 10 toes down for my dad, and I love my dad. I love my dad,
Ride or die.
but I think he should have helped her more. Yeah. My mom and I are very similar. I wouldn't, because I'm older now and I have children, and I see the days where I get to the point of the memories that I have of my mom being upset. Like she said, sometimes I'll yell, and I can tap out and have Chia help me.
Yeah.
When you don't have that help, I don't know what you expect from a person.
It's a trip, like, because I grew up single parent home too. My mom has 3 of us. And when I look at my mom now, I'm like, it was nothing that you didn't do. It was like you didn't have somebody to tap you out. And I'm like, it's just not, it's not fair.
It's not.
Like, at all. And it's so, sometimes it's so crazy. And me and my dad have a good relationship now, but my dad's like, I don't know why your mom's mad. I'm like, bro, like, he's tired.
They don't.
Like, what do you not understand?
Girl.
Like, but it's having that second person there is like so necessary.
It is. Like your mom had the flu at some point. Your mom was sick at some point. Your mom had her period at some point.
Oh
and
yeah,
was
no,
doing
she
it
wasn't
while
allowed.
parenting.
Yeah,
right.
no. I've even growing up, I told my mom all the time, I was like, I've only seen you cry like when I was an adult. I was like, I never saw you like down, like nothing. I'm like, I saw you pissed off, but that was probably you were sad or stressed, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's where I have to
love
come
that
full
answer.
force honest with the fact that there's a lot of times when my daughter would complain about stuff, and I'd think to myself, just man up. She doesn't have to man up, though.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to do that. And it shouldn't have to be that way. But see, here's another thing. Once again, that's a little different, because things have changed. When I was growing up, my mom was a single parent, but most of my relatives and friends and stuff, they were 2-parent households. You have to understand something. Society didn't make those men do what they do now. It was okay for them to they didn't have to come home from work.
Yeah.
They worked. And your mothers would tell you stuff like that. That man is doing this for your house. We have been so screwed up historically. It is just now starting to take form
Yeah.
of the way people should actually act.
Absolutely.
And so, it has now that I see how they do, I realize, yeah, that would have been good. But I thought it was good. I thought I was, listen, but
I know.
I had a girlfriend whose husband was a doctor. And she had to take, and I'm sorry, he was a lawyer. She took him to court. And he ended up going to jail. He never did give her any money. She even said to me one day, how do you get him to do that? Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, why I kind of take up for him sometimes.
That makes sense.
He had the mindset. He just had a different mindset.
Yeah.
Everybody just didn't, that is not what was happening. I mean, now some things have changed and I see these men, I see them with their kids. I mean, which is one of the things that I would throw out to a lot of people who are very judgmental about people who are maybe culturally different from us, and I don't mean racially different. I mean how you're raised. When you see these brothers out here and their pants are down to here, but they got a stroller, just smile.
Mind your business.
Yeah. Just mind your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Say to them, "Oh, what an adorable child! Open the door." Choose to say something nice to them because the daddy has them. He's sitting there. He's feeding them. He has them in the park. He's taking them on a walk. He smiles at you. Everything is gold. But there's a sister somewhere that's going to benefit from that.
Absolutely.
And when you see a sister in a grocery store and her kids are jumping up and down the cart, oh, your children are so cute, or offer to help sometimes. So that's all I want to say on that is just also be mindful of that too, that we have to really hold on to people that don't have that info because a lot of times they don't.
Yeah. Whenever I see somebody like when there are kids that are screaming or like a mom's having a hard time, I always try to make eye contact with her and a lot of times a lot of moms are like, oh, I'm so sorry. And let's say I don't have my kids that day. I always look, I'm like, girl, I get it. Like totally. I'm like, I'm like, it's okay. Just keep on breathing. And they're just always like, thank you. But I'm like, in that moment, even though you can't make the kid like snap out of it, but us just feeling seen, there's something about being seen in those times.
And you're seeing them, and it's a really, really bad day for them. But as far as children are concerned, all children will do things.
Yeah.
We have just got a different way of guiding our children. But I did have a child that pulled down an entire egg display in Kroger one day. And I just sort of like walked away.
Well, gotta go.
I was like,
Clean up on aisle 6, or you walk to the front. Someone knocked the
eggs down. There's a spill in aisle 6.
I mean,
they want to send someone to clean it up. Don't review the security tape.
I thought I was a good parent, and it was nothing I could do. They just
Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
We had a
It was
snow
Rebecca.
globe incident.
It was. I got a little too close, and she pulled the right card. And you know how they put the display, and I couldn't
crazy.
believe. And
They
my
shouldn't have done
girlfriend was with me, and we were bent over, rolling.
my
So
gosh.
I mean, what else can you do?
You can't.
What
That's a
else
good
can
one.
you do?
That's
But
funny.
and that's and to that I say having good relationships, having friends that are going through it, having a support group is good. You have a good support group here also. Tiffany is different from a lot of your friends. I feel she's a little more mature. She didn't. Some friends would say, "Yeah, girl, beat her." That's what I would. She listened to her.
Tiffany
I noticed
Cancer?
that. I noticed these things. She listened to her. She let her say anything. Oh yeah, and she left it alone. Left you to your own devices, and your devices were good. And I'm so proud of you when I see you do that. I wished I could have done that back then, but I didn't. I had hysterical
gave me
parenting.
hugs.
I would yell at them and then send them to bed at 4:00 in the afternoon, and then make them cookies at 6:00 because I felt bad, and call them all the way back downstairs. So that it's just neurotic parenting because you feel bad inside.
Oh, that's neurotic.
Store. I'm like, no wonder I became a makeup artist. I'm like, damn, a nigga was getting in trouble a lot.
Trauma-induced interest.
After you shook them to death.
Wait, before you say your
The end of the
question,
world.
that you look like you may not remember.
I
But
know, I remember. I
Okay. I was just
good.
going to say, you said you wish you could have been like that then.
Well, you know, I wish that I had that other piece. I felt like I was on the right track.
Yeah.
Then there would be these gaps. I kind of wish I could have.
But what I was going to say is when we asked Ashley where that came from, she said you. So even if you weren't exactly that way when she was that age, you still inspired kindness and empathy and grace in her for her daughters.
Oh, for sure.
To look forward to do even better. I think. Yeah. So,
Aw. Well, I want to ask you a question.
no.
Well, she's in charge.
It seems like she's your mom.
Laura's
Like you came from her.
Because this is a hot mess. What?
No, it's a hard
Already a
question.
hot mess.
You ready to dig deep?
No, I'm not doing that. I told you when I came here, we're not doing that.
Okay, Mom. So I was just going to ask you, like, as a mother, because I'm a mom now, what would you say was the hardest part of parenting the rest of us after losing a child? Well, my experience with losing Rebecca, I was mad at you for a while. I talked to you about this because I felt like I had to take on a lot when she died, and it was very overwhelming for me, and I've never seen you and Dad in that space before. So it just was, a new space for everybody in our family. And I felt like I took the lead on a lot of decisions because you guys were just kind of like not here,
Mm-hmm.
And I was mad at you for a long time because I was like, well, I lost my sister too. Like I wanted to be weak or grieve or whatever. And then I had Amira, and I felt so bad because I was like, oh God. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what it's like to lose a child until you have a child. Even the thought of it is like overwhelming. So what would you say was either the hardest part or just something that got you through to help you to keep pushing through?
I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a thing. I just made it here today. You know what I'm saying? Here I am, 2023. My daughter was, Ashley was my rock without me even knowing it. And I don't know, I'm not this Jesus and, type. That's not me. But something definitely takes over in our lives sometimes when we can't make it, and I always go back to, I think it's the, I'm not an Antichrist, but sometimes these posters get on my nerves. But I do think of that thing, footprints. And I know you probably already see. So you look back and you're like, you only see one set. And I know that I wasn't there for her. And I left the building.
Yeah.
When her dad showed up and told me what he told me, I didn't even react. I did not fully cry at my daughter's. I just walked through a space. And probably in May, end of May, I remember sitting out on my back porch. I just lost my entire mind, just all of a sudden, with that cup of coffee that I have to have every morning. And I was just like, my daughter is gone. And, it was like, and then my mother was alive, and my mother was devastated. And I guess I didn't call her. I mean, she'd changed a lot by then, but still, I didn't call her. I mean, I would call her, but I didn't call her. And I did kind of start leaning on Ashley like she was my mother. Mm-hmm. But her and her friend Nalo and Nalo's brother pulled together a funeral that I actually did very little. My friends helped me through it. Mm-hmm. They did. Two of my really close friends went to the funeral home. They helped me through it and everything. And it's kind of like whenever you have a crutch or something that you hold on to, it wasn't until she told me one day, you're the mom. And it just really dawned on me that I did not give you that space, and I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize, Mom.
Well, I am sorry because you should have. Gosh, if I had lost a sibling, I would have wanted my mom, but you did it, and I apologize.
Now, Ashley, I want to get up, but I know you don't like it.
We got closets, though.
No, it's okay. I don't want you to apologize, Mom.
Well, but I'm going to, because that was too much for you. It wasn't fair.
I don't want you to apologize. I'm just saying, like, I feel bad because I think I just didn't realize how hurt you were. Like, yes, it's my sister, but that was your baby, And I just felt bad that I wish I wasn't so angry at you and more compassionate, because I was just thinking about my own feelings and I really wasn't thinking about yours.
Feelings were important because those girls were close. They're like, every time I see Asia and Azara, that's them. I mean, every time that Azara steps on Asia's head, but it's in reverse because actually Ashley used to step on Rebecca's head. She was big. She even had the nerve one day, I don't know where we were, but she said something about, this is Rebecca, my little sister. And I'm like, the heck? You know, she's like a foot taller than you and older than you, but that is, and I get it. I get it now, but it just, I don't know where my mind was. I was like, I lost my child. I'm gone. And it has taken every day of my life. And I get so scared, and I'm protective of you and her children. Like all the time when she comes in and, you know, their hair standing all over there, especially when they stay at my house and they're running up and down the steps doing stuff. And she's like, you better not let nothing happen to my kids. They feel like they came out of me. But I get her being, I get that. These are your kids. You know, can't nobody take care of your kids better than you, you know. We get like that. But I don't ever want anybody to go through that. Like, you know, I try to be there for people that have been through that, but there's no real recipe. I've had therapy, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I accomplished a lot during therapy, and that was not one of the things. Because you just have to choose to survive. Her having children, that's helped. The more people you have to love, you just have to involve yourself. I went back to school. I homeschooled then I went to public school, and you just have to make yourself busy.
It makes me think of, so we had a conversation with Tiffany. I don't think, you guys weren't here, Melanie and Felicia, but we had a conversation with Tiffany, who is Kyla's mom. And she lost her brother a couple of months after she had Kyla. And we had a conversation, me and Ashley and Tiffany, about basically surviving, right? Like it's the sad reality, but I think comforting to align on or to relate that, like, there's so many things you can try to do to get through loss and grief. But at the end of the day, what we all agreed or realized, I think, that day, and what I heard you say was like, you just look up 10, 15, whatever years later, and you're like, I'm still here. There are people that I love who love me. And that's just what it is.
And I think I feel a little guilty about Tiffany too. I mean, the guilt is there because I was sitting at the table when her grandmother got that phone call. One of the friends that I was talking about earlier and her grandmother, we were all out eating and having a good time when that phone call came. And sometimes I don't know how to approach her. You know, I just want to comfort her because I know that's hard. And, you know, you're still dealing with your own forms of grief, and it's just everywhere, you know, and it's just like really hard to pull it together. I really admire people that are good at that. I mean, I don't know that anyone is. Right. Well, you know, I mean, the people that are there for comforting and being there for.
No, I love you, Mom. I really do. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you every day more because I realize how hard it is to show up, you know? Like, we had a couple years where you were like, I don't want to have Christmas. I don't want to do Thanksgiving. I don't want to do anything because it was just really hard for you because she wasn't there. But then you started coming back to that and like celebrating life and sharing life with us and being present.
I started hiding that elf. That meant that I was
hiding the elf.
She was like, I guess I'll do this.
I guess I'm back. No, but I know that that's hard. I know it's never easy. So I do love you and I appreciate you. And I don't want you to ever feel bad. I think it was just a hard time for everybody and everybody just did the best they could. And
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just, I think it's really beautiful that even in this time together on this podcast that we still want to be the best that we could be to the people in our lives. Even if, you know, just there is no right or wrong. Right. You know, there's no right or wrong. You literally are in survival. You're doing what you got to do. And then you grow through it. And even like you getting to a place, Mom, where you felt like you needed to apologize. Like, I think that it's just a beautiful testament to the growth of healing, you know, and there's many stages and places to be with it. And I'm just over here a puddle. You said something that really, I was crying 45 minutes ago. You said something and I thought of it because I know the story is you said, you know, kids are supposed to come home at 11 and it's 10:45 and your heart starts going like this. And just that thought that you really, as a parent, you're just always waiting for your kids to come home and make it home safely, you know? And the fact that you guys have such a special relationship, even bonded through that, is there's beauty in it, you know? So
I love my mom.
yes. Listen, you don't understand, Mom. Listen, when she comes back from Ohio,
her nickname is Addie Mae.
Oh my
yes, she told us Addie Mae. Yeah, Addie Mae, that's what she says. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this because it's so funny. Like we always hear the things like, oh, you wonder. Whenever Ashley comes back from Ohio, I just love my mom. I just need her here. I just love my mom so much. I would just stay there forever if I could, but I can't stay in Ohio, so I need to come back. But she just needs to come out here. Like, I just love my mom. I need my mom. Like, she says it all the time. So even if you don't know it, it is true. She expresses her love for you always.
I do.
And that is another thing. Ashley acts like she's my mom, so sometimes it's hard for me to understand. That's my, she be telling me what to do.
I think I'm everyone's mother. It's fine. God made me that way.
You are
mama.
the eternal mother.
I'm a Capricorn. We're in charge. Didn't I tell you in the car, if you just do what I say, everything will be fine?
She did all the time. She does
the same thing.
I tell
Actually.
Chia the same thing too. If everyone would just listen to me, just imagine how easy life would be. You wouldn't. That's right
For you.
how God feels.
Again,
If
blink
you just
twice.
listen to me, you could live.
I know.
Just compare herself to God.
Right.
And then she equate. She says that's how God feels.
She definitely said
God.
that she's God. That's what you just said.
God has to be a black woman. If y'all would just all listen to me, you could be jumping through fields naked, eating all the fruit you want.
I feel like sometimes Ashley was sent to me like from my mom. My mom was like, okay, so you want to just be who you want to be. I'm going to send you somebody that's going to take care of you when I leave. And that would be her.
That's Juju for me.
Yeah.
I just think the difference is I'm so much like Juju, and me and you are different. We're very similar, but different in how we approach things. I'm far more aggressive than my mom is. Like, I'll beat somebody up for her. But she'll fight people too. Remember when you pushed my
I will always
my
fight for
stepmom
her.
down the steps?
And she'll
fight
She
you.
be
Oh
ready
my
to
God.
yeah. She be ready to fight, but not like how I am. She's more like she's like Chia. It's gonna take a minute, but then when she's there,
But when
you're probably gonna die.
because and then she won't even let me fight because I remember that woman I was going to beat up in the store that day that stepped on my. I just don't understand. Okay.
She said, I just don't understand.
She's still mad about it.
Mother
Yeah,
and your
because
mama.
it's like you won't let me be me.
So funny.
Well, since Ashley's not going to let Mama Laura say anything else.
No.
She won't. She told me in the car, just stop.
We need a whole part 2 because I'm also very interested because like you said, although you guys are different, there's a lot of similarities there. And Ashley has chosen to homeschool her kids and you homeschool the whole community. And I think that's just a fascinating, admirable thing. And to, without having more time to get into it, hearing you speak about your awareness of people and the human condition, it really gives me more insight as to why you are the way you are, why you were a homeschool teacher, the way that you wanted to enrich the people in your community, how you view children. Yeah. It's really nice. It's really nice to hear that.
No, she's dope. She when I had a mirror, she started sending me articles and she was like, I don't care what I did. Don't do anything that I did wrong. Do this. I did. She was like, do better. And she just sends me articles all the time on disciplining your children, having patience, understanding. And even when me and Chia were having problems, she was like, girl, I ain't never been married. Go to the therapist. That's the one thing about my mom. She's not going to lead you astray. She'll let you know, there's better information out there. That's where I get that desire to seek knowledge and to seek truth from her because she's always been that way. Read books, understand. She would cut the cable off. We had to read the whole summer. We weren't allowed to watch TV. But I aspire to be like her because I think I'm great and she raised me. So of course, of course, I want my kids to be like me or better. You know what I mean? So for sure, my mom definitely could write a book on parenting or just raising your for sure.
Manifestation mode?
Maybe.
All the mamas in one book or give Mama Donna her own.
This is Leila's way.
Oh, that was amazing. I feel like clapping.
Yay!
Yay, mommy! It wasn't bad.
I feel like there was a big breakthrough moment right
Yeah,
there.
she was worried. All right, well that's it. Thanks for having my mom.
Thanks for coming, Mom.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We love you.
And I enjoyed being with all of you.